I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the staggering figure of $300,000 on the laptop screen, money that had disappeared from the Research Foundation's accounts over the past year. I was more content poring over data and research articles. But tonight changed everything. Still here. Jasper's voice startled me as he leaned against the office doorway, a steaming coffee mug in hand. "Reagan, it's nearly midnight. Whatever you're doing can wait till morning," he suggested. I shook my head, hands shaky as I turned my laptop to face him. "Look at this," I said. "The quarterly reports don't align with our bank statements. Someone's siphoning grant money." Jasper set his coffee down, leaning in to review the figures with a furrowed brow. "You're absolutely sure?" he asked. "The signatures, approval stamps, they all trace back to the treasurer of the foundation." My vocal cords were barely cooperating. "My mother?" "Yes." "What are you thinking of doing?" Closing my laptop, my resolve was firm. "I'll attend that gala, but not for the reasons they think. Just dropping off some research proposals," I lied effortlessly. "Is my mother around?" "She's in with Trevor, Annabelle's fiancé, discussing gala sponsorships," she informed me. Seizing my moment, I slipped into my mother's empty office, heart racing as I connected my USB drive to her system. The encryption tool I used would enable remote file access. "What exactly are we looking for?" Jasper inquired later as we delved into the downloaded information. "Anything that verifies." I started, stopping dead, at a new email chain. "Check this out." I gestured. "Emails with Trevor's firm. They're using the gala for money laundering via bogus donations." Jasper let out a low whistle. "Your mom and future brother-in-law make quite a pair, while Annabelle, unknowing, upholds the role of the perfect daughter." Hearing my bitterness surprised even me. Just then my phone buzzed again. This time it was Mother. She urged, "Sweetheart, you must attend tomorrow's dress fitting. Annabelle's chosen quite the gown for the gala, and we must find something suitable for you too." I could read between the lines. Suitable meant subtle. Nothing outshining her golden child. "Sure, Mother," I agreed. Placing the phone down, I turned to Jasper. "I've always been dutiful, the compliant, untroublesome child, but they've crossed a boundary here," I declared. "Jasper, what's your strategy then?" he asked. Bringing up the gala guest list, I said, "Board members, benefactors, press, the ideal audience." I contemplated about the research projects unmet due to unreceived grants, about scientists who've stalled due to bizarre funding cessations, absorbed by the blur of late-night coffee-fueled scrutiny. Indeed, shell companies. "Her strategic contrivance is impressive," Jasper pointed, "but her fatal flaw is greed." A sharp knock on the door interrupted us both. Annabelle entered, effortlessly elegant in her designer wear. "Surprise, I brought lunch." Hastily, I closed the laptop. Annabelle sighed. "Photo shoots for the gala invites, a perfect family image, as mandated by Mom." As she departed, I phoned Jasper. "We must expedite. She's aware of the audits." "I'm on it." Funds looped through Cayman offshore accounts, a classic maneuver. I savored my Americano, pondering. But why? Her compensation suffices. Jasper leaned in, lowering his voice. I recalled Annabelle's earlier comments about feeling like a mere tool. "She has no clue, does she?" Jasper gestured towards the cafe entrance, where Trevor entered with my mother. We hid behind our menus, but their intense conversation meant they didn't notice us. They took a seat at a nearby table, allowing snippets of their conversation to float over. A wave of nausea hit me. They were planning to use Annabelle to announce their plan, making her an oblivious participant in their deceit. Back in my office, I pulled up the gala preparation folder on my laptop. Mother had planned everything, speeches, photo ops, even when Annabelle would introduce Project Legacy. "We can't let this happen." I picked up the invitation. True, but Sarah's always favored me. Plus, she truly believes in what the foundation is supposed to represent. Cautiously, Reagan. The closer we get to the gala, some things are worth the gamble. Sarah's hands shook as she handed me the stack of documents. "I always suspected something was wrong, but this," she said. glancing at my mother's empty office across the hall. If she discovers I showed you these. She won't, I assured, quickly photographing each page with my phone. You're doing the right thing. The Foundation Board meeting minutes, Sarah whispered. Your mother has been altering them for months. The real versions are far removed from what she presents. A door slammed nearby, causing Sarah to snatch the papers back. Go now. I slipped out just as Trevor's voice echoed. Paula, we need to discuss the announcement. I ducked into the stairwell, he said, as he pulled me inside. Better, I replied, connecting my phone to his computer. Sarah came through. Look at these meeting minutes. Mother's been systematically misleading the board on the money's destination. Jasper scrolled through the photos. This is huge, Reagan. With this evidence. The lab door flew open, startling us. Annabelle stood there, mascara streaked across her cheeks. I need to talk to you. Jasper and I exchanged panic looks. Trevor's cheating on me, she blurted out, catching us off guard. What? Unable to hold it in any longer. The entire scheme is for embezzlement. Mother and Trevor have been stealing from the research grants, and they're going to use you to give it a legitimate appearance. Pulling up the files on Jasper's computer. Here are the actual numbers, the shell companies, the offshore accounts. As Annabelle read, her expression shifted from disbelief to horror, then anger. Annabelle stood suddenly, pacing the lab. I suspected Mother was controlling, but this? Using me to steal from the ill. She turned to me. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Would you have believed me over Mother? I asked softly. She paused in thought. No, probably not, she admitted with a bitter chuckle. I've been so naive, the perfect daughter, doing as told. My phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. Your mother's searching for the original meeting minutes. She knows something's off. We have to act quickly, I told them. Mother suspects something's up. What's your plan? Annabelle inquired. Expose everything at the gala, I replied. You'll ruin her, she said softly. She's done that herself, I hesitated. But I can't do this alone. I need your help. Annabelle was quiet for a long moment, twisting her engagement ring around her finger before finally pulling it off and setting it on Jasper's desk with a determined click. Where Mother had sent instructions to the Foundation's IT department to erase certain servers just before the gala. She's covering her tracks, I said. Then we must ensure we have everything we need before she does. I know all Mother's passwords, Annabelle said, pulling out her phone. She made me memorize them for emergencies. For the first time, I felt real hope that we could pull this off together. The gala's in 2 weeks, Jasper reminded us. Perfect, Annabelle replied with determination, adjusting my dress for the 10th time as the seamstress pinned the hem at the boutique. The gala is for celebration, not mourning, she insisted, unaware of anything amiss. The governor, the key donors, everything must be impeccable. She turned to Annabelle. Have you got your speech for Project Legacy down? Every word, Mother, Annabelle replied, her voice sweet as honey, though I was thinking of adding a personal twist. Mother's smile wavered. Stick to the script, dear, she advised. Now isn't the time for ad-libs. After the seamstress finished, Mother excused herself for a call, leaving Annabelle and me alone in the fitting room. Did you record that? I whispered. Annabelle replayed the recording. Mother's voice was crystal clear. The governor's office has already approved the restructuring. Once it's announced, it's a done deal. I stepped down from the platform, cautious of the pins. How are things with Trevor? I asked. He's getting suspicious. Keeps asking if I've talked to you recently, Annabelle said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. My mother taught me everything about keeping secrets. Her smile twisted with bitterness. Ironic, isn't it? The boutique door chimed as Jasper made his entrance, face clouding over at the sight of him. What is he doing here? She demanded. I invited him, Annabelle replied calmly. We need a man's opinion, don't we? I'm here to discuss the latest grant applications with Reagan, matters that require urgent attention. Work, 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 Mother sighed. Reagan dear, you must learn to separate business from personal life. The gala is in 10 days. I know, Mother, I replied. Everything will be perfect. After Mother left, Jasper pulled out his phone. Dated 2 years ago. Instead of a noble initiative, it outlined a complex scheme to funnel research funds through private investments. Mother's been orchestrating this for years, Annabelle whispered, peering over my shoulder. There's more, Jasper said. Trevor's firm isn't just managing the money, they're fabricating research projects to justify the transfers. We were just discussing the gala, weren't we? Trevor's eyes darted between us, his expression tight. Fashion emergency, Jasper remarked dryly. Apparently, I have a knack for color. Annabelle, Trevor said firmly, a word. They stepped aside, not distant enough to escape our ears. Your mother's worried, Trevor murmured. Says you've been asking odd questions about the foundation. She informed us. She's accelerating her plans faster than anticipated, Jasper noted. We must be prepared. Using Annabelle and me in her meticulous game. Reagan, Jasper said, touching my arm. Are you absolutely certain about this? Once we move forward, there's no turning back. I'm certain, I replied. An immediate response followed. I'll bring wine. We're going to need it. The pieces were set. Surviving the next 10 days was all that remained. Your mother suspects a leak and has initiated a full system lockdown. Can you still retrieve the files? I inquired while watching Jasper frantically type on his laptop. No, Sarah responded, lowering her voice, but I've made copies of everything. I'll deposit them in the usual spot. After the call ended, Annabelle filled our glasses with more wine. Mother contacted me thrice today, trying to preempt any possible exposure. My phone buzzed, displaying Trevor's call. I showed Annabelle. Don't answer, she advised. He's been observing me like a hawk. Yesterday, he even tailed me to the grocery store. We need to expedite our plan, I stated, accessing our evidence folder. Sarah's duplicates will complete the puzzle. A knock on my door startled us, freezing everyone in place. Through the peephole, I saw Mother standing there, flawlessly composed despite the late hour. Places, everyone, I murmured. Jasper quickly grabbed his laptop and retreated to my bedroom, while Annabelle stuffed our documents beneath the couch cushions. I opened the door. Mother, it's almost midnight. Everything's being recorded to external servers. Mother's confident voice filled the room. Now, I am pleased to introduce my daughter Annabelle, who will present our vision for Project Legacy. The room erupted in applause as Annabelle stepped onto the stage, appearing perfectly poised, exactly as Mother had trained her, though I noted her hands slightly tremble as she gripped the podium. Thank you, Mother, Annabelle began clearly. Before I proceed, care to elucidate? Mother's attorney intervened, touching her arm. My client asserts her right to silence. A first, Annabelle muttered. We watched as Mother was returned to her cell. Through the window, reporters camped outside, hungry for updates on the scandal rocking the city's philanthropic scene. Miss Horton, the detective addressed, will require your statement on when you discovered the discrepancies. Hours passed as I detailed everything: the vanished research funds, shell companies, counterfeit grants. Annabelle added her report regarding Trevor's involvement and our strategic announcement. Your mother's facing considerable time, the detective concluded. Both are, the amount involved argues, federal charges. Jasper awaited us outside the interview room. The board summoned an urgent meeting. They want both of you. Annabelle checked her phone. It's near midnight. Damage control never sleeps, I remarked. At the foundation offices, silence enveloped as we rode the elevator. Sarah greeted us at the boardroom, her eyes red from tears. They've been deliberating for hours, she whispered, trying to salvage what's possible. Inside, board members appeared shell-shocked. Ladies, please sit, instructed the chairman, an elderly gentleman familiar with our family. We've spent the evening evaluating the situation. The foundation's reputation can be saved, I interjected, if we act swiftly and transparently. The media dubs it the legacy scandal, noted another board member. Our donors are retreating. Annabelle composed herself. Then, let me be the one to speak to them. I've represented this foundation for years. I should be the one to tell them the truth. We uncovered the corruption, and we chose to expose it. It's not that simple. Actually, it is. I opened my laptop, displaying the detailed restructuring plan I had drafted. It outlined new transparency measures, strict financial oversight, and direct connections between donors and the research they supported. The board members exchanged glances. "We need fresh leadership," the chairman finally said, his voice deliberate. "Someone who understands both the science and the public trust we must rebuild." Under the table, Annabelle squeezed my hand. "We'd like to offer both of you leadership positions," he continued. Reagan, as Executive Director of Research. Annabelle, as Director of Public and Donor Relations. Annabelle hesitated. "Together?"
Together.
"Your actions, while drastic, demonstrated integrity, something this foundation needs more than ever." As we stepped out of the building hours later, the first light of dawn colored the sky. Reporters surged toward us. "Miss Horton, how does it feel to have exposed your own mother's wrongdoing? What's next for the foundation?" Annabelle, the picture of professionalism, stepped forward. "The foundation is moving into a new era, one built on honesty and genuine philanthropy." A voice cut through the media frenzy. "Look." Through the crowd, we saw Trevor, his expensive suit disheveled, being escorted out of the federal building in handcuffs. "Miss Sanderson, any comment on your ex-fiancé's arrest?" Annabelle faltered, for just a second. I moved beside her. "The future of this foundation is not about the past," I said firmly. "It's about the researchers fighting for breakthroughs, the patients waiting for hope, and the donors who truly want to make a difference. That's the only story that matters now." Jasper's car pulled up, offering an escape. As we drove away, Annabelle finally let her guard down.